Hello again, my name is Mike Vorel, Pokes Authority beat reporter for Wyoming football, and this is the Pokes Authority Vidcast brought to you by Wyoming Central Federal Credit Union. Wyoming is 2-0 and they're going into a game this week at number 2 Oregon. Obviously a huge test for this defense and the entire team. You know, when you go into a game against that big of a powerhouse, what are the keys for Wyoming's defense? How do you stop an offense that put up 46 points against Michigan State last week? Well, Craig Bull said today that a lot of it is going to be controlling the ball on offense. If you don't give the ball to Oregon, then of course they can't beat you. So Wyoming's going to try to control the ball. They're going to try to run it as much as possible and grind out the clock. Another big key, of course, is going to be gang tackling. This is a defense that loves to tackle in bunches. One guy's not always going to bring the ball carrier down, so they got to really swarm to the football, and that includes tackling better on the outside. The cornerbacks have had some tackling issues, but they're going to try to improve, and they got to shore that up. Craig Bull said they're going to work very hard on the cornerback tackling this week. Now let's go to my interview with senior cornerback Blair Burns.
All right, I'm with senior cornerback Blair Burns. Blair, first off, you guys are facing a little bit of a challenge this week. Number 2, team in the country, excellent offense. Just kind of what are the initial keys to stopping Oregon or limiting Oregon?
Just competing. Thinking fast on your feet. They're going to get up there, they're going to get a play ran, and then they're going to come back with another play. So you got to be able to think fast on your feet. You got to be able to think about the personnel and different formations you can get, different plays you can get out of the formations, and that's one thing we're going to have to work on: getting in the film room and studying their plays.
Through 2 games, you guys have given up 13 points and 12 points. Looks like you've got some momentum. I guess just how much confidence do you have with this defense right now?
I think there's a lot of confidence going around. I think that Coach Standard really challenged us this year. Trying to be the best we can be. He told us a story about when he was at Nebraska and they had one of the worst defenses in the nation, and then the next year they came back and had the best defense in the nation. So we're just trying to change things around here. So it's no playing the best team, one of the best offenses in the nation. It's really going to see where we're at as a defense this year.
If you've had any small weaknesses, there have been a few missed tackles as far as the cornerbacks. How much of an emphasis is being placed on that this week going into the game?
It's going to be a big emphasis. Coach Rich is going to have us out there open field tackles with the receivers and having them put moves on us and things like that. So we'll be ready in the game to make those type of plays. And me and DeAndre and the guys that have missed those tackles, we know what we have to correct on them. We're going to work on them this week, and we're going to get those things corrected.
Right. When you're going in against the number 2 team in the country on the road, how important is it just to believe that you can compete with this team and you can, beat this team?
I think it's a big factor. We got to be able to go out there and play all out. Like we have nothing to lose, and we don't have anything to lose. Everyone is counting on us to lose this game. So we just got to go out there, be ready to compete, and if we can do that, then we have a good chance of competing and running with these guys.
Sounds good. Thanks, Blair. Appreciate it.
One last point this week, Wyoming going into a huge game at Oregon, going to be a huge underdog. How do you compete in a game like that? Well, Coach Bull and the players both emphasize the fact that they need to believe that they can compete. They need to believe that they can win this game to be able to hang in. They're not going to try to be intimidated. They're going to go in with confidence. They're going to really embrace the situation, the national attention, a big crowded Autzen Stadium. They're going to take that entire scenario and look at it as an opportunity to go in and show who they are in the way that they play against Oregon. We'll see how it works out for the Wyoming Cowboys this week. Well, that's all for now. Go to pokesauthority.com for all your coverage. My name is Mike Vorel. Take care.